Alright everyone, this is G-Ster the Boss. I am back and we are ready to give it another go. Do this game 2 of the Nephilim versus Eclipsis Terran StarBattle League Week 4 matchup. Had an issue with the game previous where somebody's dog acted stupid and caused them to mess up their ups. So they asked for a remake. Eclipsis agreed, and now we're looking at game 2 starting hopefully with no shenanigans. Alright, to open, we've got Eclipsis coming out with double Destro, Raven Carrier, Guardian, Levy, and the Nephilim guys, double Destro, Guardian, double Levy, with a Raven as well. Howler, are you back here with me?
No, I'm currently writing a report, so you have to do this on your own for now.
Okay, Howler's a TSL commissioner, and he's writing a report about what just happened. So, for now, you just got me. It's all good, though. Hopefully you're eating dinner like Omega Star, so you've got enough entertainment in front of your face. But as we look, initial interactions appear to be, nothing different than you would expect. Gats back and forth in these double Destros, and Guardians in the middle duking it out. Should see an EMP war formulate between these Ravens. And on the outside here, you've got Luigi in the 4-3 carrier is going to try to do work against Bite Light out here in the Levy. Now, Bite Light went with 5 tentacles, or at least he has 5 tentacles right now. On the other side, Simo Wet Puss is 3 tentacles on the Levy across from OSB, who's at 4 tenths. And looks like we've got Yellow Man push forward. He's getting some gats on him. Back out before losing too much hull or anything of that nature. Just to check these Destros out, both of them are armor on the Nephilim side, and actually both of them, well actually one, Larson is at 4-3 for his Destro, and Artemis went out with the armor build for Eclipsis, so a little bit of versatility there. Both Guardians went with the needles, and as I said before, Ravens are rocking EMPs. Although, haven't seen a lot of EMPs going on, just mostly shield transfer as we wait and see who gets the control of the map right now. Very solid matchup in the middle right now. Nobody wants to give any ground. We see the Nephilim guys the first to turn around. But here is a counter turn right now. They got gats on Artemis right now. Still got plenty of shields, and she's got all that armor, so not a huge concern. But Flight might need to be concerned, and the Guardian getting pushed right now, not getting a whole hell of a lot of cover, but Larson's on the side putting gats on fools, so they need to keep cognizant of that. Now Flight's losing a pretty decent amount of HP, but they're going to get this counter turn, and he's still going to be able to contribute, sitting at about 5k for his health right now. But as you can see on the outside, OSB is way out. He's been beating Simo on the outside up to this point. Simo's going to go back. He grabbed a range right quick, see if he can get some kite action. And OSB's going to push in. Looks like they're going to try to grab some warps and go for warp trick. There it is. Everybody's grabbing warping in on OSB. You're going to see the warp trick right in the middle of the map right now. They're going to try to get some DPS on OSB maybe before the warps come in, and there are the warps. Let's see how the Nephilim guys react to this. It's a slaughterhouse in the middle of the map right now, and I think Flight may have made a mistake warping in before he was full health, and he dies. So we lose Flight, but Eclipse is gonna do everything they can to dive on Dirty Apomat and make sure that this trade happens, and he's not gonna make it back to base. Now we're going to see if Nephilim's going to turn around with the gats and try to put them on anybody, as Simo has to get out of there. He's burning. Doesn't look like anybody for Eclipsis is going to go down, so Nephilim's just going to push them back a little bit, and then they're going to have to back off as they aren't exactly fully healthy right now. So we see the Guardian go down for Eclipsis. The Raven, though, goes down for Nephilim, and for farm, Nephilim's at 100 advantage right now, a little bit over 100. High farm is Luigi and that 4-3 carrier on the outside opposite Bite Light. No, actually Bite Light's the high farmer. Luigi's the next highest. So that's where all the action is happening right now. Dusk for Nephilim moving to the outside to go ahead and grab some farm. He does have that first kill, and he's sitting at 120 for his score right now. You see the launch on Bite Light, gonna go ahead and push him back. Still sitting at those 5 tentacles, but he's upped. He's got range 10 on that Bile Swarm now, and he's given it 4 upgrades. OSB, meanwhile, I get the visions on him. OSB is sitting at 5 for his Bile Swarm as well, but he added an attack, which Bite Light did not. So he's sitting at the equal level, but Bite Light actually has 10 range, and OSB is at, well, just upgraded to 9. So Bite Light can still kite that if he needs to. Kite that like the goat that it is. Simo out here, they've moved him to the bottom. He's sitting at 9 on his range. Tentacles are at 6. Luigi's out here, 9 interceptors right now. High farmer for his team at the moment. We see Larson has moved up to getting 5 on his armor. Did not grab his improved hull, probably because he was rushing in on that warp trick, and I needed to get that instead. Artemis has grabbed 1 laser. Does not have her improved hull yet either. Alright, Averlin is sitting at 250 for the energy. Didn't get a lot of chance to farm before that warp needed to happen, so figures that she hasn't been able to grab much more than that. As we see Dusk, I believe he warped. No, he warped in. Simo and Dusk gonna put a little bit of a tandem pressure on Luigi to try to get him out of there. If we look at the farm, Luigi's sitting. Yeah, he's up to 200 score right now, so he's definitely getting strong. And if you look on the Nephilim side, now that the Raven's gone, energy deny is non-existent. Not a single ship on the Nephilim side right now that can energy deny if Luigi starts to go back and grab something like Tex. Meanwhile, you have Averlin over here with the EMPs. For Eclipsis. So Nephilim is going to have to overcome that hurdle and not have an energy deny on this side. OSB is going to squeeze in to make sure not too much pressure is put over here. Still sitting at his 9 range. 7 tentacles for him. Simo has gone up to 9 tentacles down here trying to deal with these interceptor launches. Probably going to be wanting to grab Acid Splash very soon, considering Luigi is going into those ints right now. Luigi's got almost 700 minerals right now, so who knows what concoction of destruction he could come out with after they go get these upgrades. Bite Light is 7 tentacles and 1 armor. Hasn't added any HP yet. On the other side, Simo has gone up to 14.6 on the hit points, so a little beefier, a little bigger. OSB has grabbed 2 upgrades to his health as well. Larson comes out with his repair bots to, as is expected. The destroyers on the Nephilim side also have their repair bots. Let me find this other destroyer for, yep, there he is. Or she, actually, Artemis, with repair bots as well, up to 5 lasers. We've got another pause. So let's see, Nephilim paused.
Seems yellow timed out of TS. I'm actually going to go verify that real quick.
So there you go. They've lost yellow out of TS. And they're going to try to get this situation fixed before we get this started back up. Perfect opportunity for me to take in some fruit juice right now. They're going to switch to TS 3, looks like. Now I see Yellow Man joining our server, so maybe they have the situation resolved. And now we've got a lag out situation for SEMO. Don't know if this is really an issue or if it's some tabbing issue. We'll find out shortly as the ticker goes down.
I don't think I've written up enough things.
SEMO crashed.
I must say I've not seen any of ECL players complaining. It shows a great deal of patience and understanding, and I must give props to them for that. Wow, I just noticed that there was a lot of voting on SEMO. Looks like Nephilim's using this time to, go for a rush strike, and they did make the complete switch over from TS2 to TS3. Now it looks like ECL is trading out to go use the restroom as well.
This is just so trolly.
This looks like 5 people leaving the game just to go, relieve themselves.
Hey, no issues. Sometimes you gotta pee. But, hopefully we can get this thing going soon here.
I'm seeing a lot of unnecessary chat going on. I'm afraid that something official might be missed, such as, ready? Ooh, SEMO's actually timed out of the game completely.
Alright, so, SEMO is going to be gone. Trying to remember who that Raven was that got killed. Dirty Appomat, I believe, is around to assume some control of the situation, so luckily it doesn't necessarily have to be someone pulling a multi-control right now.
Looks like Wildfire is ready. I'm not quite sure if he knows that SEMO's timed out yet. He might have just come back from the restroom and found that out. Luigi is not ready, so we will not see the pause. I'm assuming it's waiting on OSP. Now we're ready. We shall actually see if this happens. Ooh, they're asking for a back off. Will this be granted? Would you grant this in a case like this?
I would, yeah. I mean, playing video games.
I can't even see if the levy's in danger or where even the levy is, because I'm currently back at base.
Yeah, the levy's actually right here.
Wildfire.
The viewers can see him in the screen right here.
I'm sorry. I just want to point out that Wildfire is really impressing me with his spelling, because even though he's misspelling it, he's misspelling to the point where I understand as a terrible speller that that's misspelled.
I don't know what I'm supposed to glean from whatever it is you just said, but apparently both you and Wildfire are terrible at spelling. We're started back. Howler, are you with us? You done with the report? So we've got Howler in here. He's going to provide some expert analysis. As you see, there's Dirty Appomat has assumed control of that levy right there. And Howler, we saw that in the first shenanigan interaction, the Guardian went down for Eclipsis, and the Raven went down for Nephilim. What do you think? Who do you think took the harder loss in that case?
Well, I mean, as I wasn't here for the first 10 minutes or whenever that happened, it really just depends. Did the Guardian open 5 spawns? Was the Raven actually getting out BMPs and being very productive? I mean, because I know he was the one that messed up on his upgrades originally.
Well, in terms of the compositions and what your capabilities are, from a strategic standpoint, have you lost more from losing your Raven and that was your only energy deny, or losing your Guardian, who was your guy out there with the spines in the middle?
I mean, I think you lose more from the Raven right now, because if we take a lesson from anything last game, they relied heavily on defensive matrix, and we do see the double Destro, and they're not going to have defensive matrix, so this will force them to take into, more armor, since everyone's going to be supplying those EMPs. I don't believe they'll be able to actually get off defensive shields.
Alright, so yeah, there you can see the EMP right there on Wildfire, and nothing to prevent them from getting EMP'd. On the Nephilim side, Dusk is getting pushed by, I guess I should say not Larson, but Esalk? Esalk?
Just call him ESO. So anyways, an interesting thing that I would like to point out that's very confusing to me is you see Dusk with 12 spines versus 11 for one shot. Do you think that the extra spine will actually do enough against the level 10 interceptors to warrant it, or is he just doing a preemptive upgrade on his spines?
I think it's probably, well, here you go asking me questions. I think it's more of a, I'm going spines and just keep upgrading spines, as opposed to thinking that, he just needed that one more to achieve a particular goal.
Ooh, we saw a turn right there. Is Wildfire going to come in to actually counter push him? And we do see Katie in the back. She does get an EMP. It nullifies Wildfire's majority of his shields. Dusk pushing in. This is where I think that instead of going one more spine, he could have gone an Acid Spore, which would have actually put more DPS on these Destros and allowed them to push harder.
Alright, so here's the, push back. Now the Gats are on Yellow Man. Looks like just a truce gonna occur about here at mid. I will point out that the match is slightly into Eclipsis' side of the map, but not something that I think is probably too significant. 1760 on the farm for Nephilim and 1500 for Eclipsis, so that advantage is on the Nephilim side right now as far as the farm. But Luigi and OSB have been, doing a good job keeping up. 350 and 320 and 330 on the outside for their farm, and for the Nephilim guys, they've got Bite Light up over 400, so he should be getting pretty big on that outside
Looks
up
like
there.
It's going to take a little bit of DPS from these level 14 interceptors. Dusk is there to provide some cover. But what do you think about this? I might have missed something in the first few minutes, but Artemis has 5 lasers, and the other Destro has 7. Do you think it's going to be a double siege, or were they doing original launches that warranted 5 lasers on Artemis?
No, there weren't really launches there. I'm not sure,
Luigi's
but if I had to...
Sorry for cutting you out.
Yeah.
Dusk was cutting over. He is going to put some DPS on it. Dirty Epiment can't push as hard because he has the intercept launch on him. Although, if I was him, I would be pushing just because I want to get closer to Dusk. Luigi isn't going to cut back. Hopefully he's waiting for a warp trick to happen.
Definitely.
Esco is warping on him with the Destro. It is going to be a push. Oh, double warp in. Nephilim is in the run, with Dirty Epiment taking more DPS from those ends. Luigi does have warp in and feedback, so quite interesting to see what's going to happen.
Dusk at 1.5 speed coming out of there. OSB is at 1.6 right now, so put a little bit of DPS on them. I'm going to drive them back. As you see, Bite Light is way over here, way into the ECL side, and they're going to turn in this direction.
He's perfectly fine. He has acid spray. He has 1/8 speed. He's got some armor. He's just using that time to get some extra farm. The only thing he'd have to worry about is if for some reason he thought that Luigi was going to go in early Vortex, which at this point in time, 5v5, the other team doesn't have any energy deny. That would be a cool call out, but I think being Luigi as he is, a very skilled player that does play somewhat conservative, he'll just go straight into interceptors for more DPS.
So on the outside here, Apomat does have these 10 bio, so he's got some DPS, got an advantage in the DPS over OSB right now. who's sitting at, oh, just upgraded to 10 himself. So they're kind of going head to head right now. Luigi has moved over to the other side of the map. He's going to keep going into those interceptors, but he does already have feedback and warping, so definitely some ability. Looks like Bytelight's going to take a outside path, but Eclipsis is already rolling out of there.
I just want to point out, this is 2 games back-to-back that I've actually seen Destros go heavy into Gats. If you look at Esco, he has 8 into Gats. Instead of, investing in something like Protective Field, which, against a team that doesn't have energy denial, I don't see why not. You can push in there, you can be an extra tank, you can try to kite, not kite, but receive the damage from the levy. And we will see Wildfire teching into mines. Yellow Man will not tech into mines with him, instead he opts for Bombardment and Protective Field himself, even though he's been being energy denied heavily. The mines are level 1, Wildfire does have the 500 energy.
Artemis is up to 8 lasers too, so yeah, it does look like the lasers are going up for at least 1 siege here. You think ESO is just going to be a straight-up rundown build after he goes in next time?
I think what they're going to try to do is ESO be the chase with 1.7 speed and Artemis with 1.6 speed and 8 lasers, maybe tech into siege. That way they have a push and a siege, and they'll have OSB with 10 bile, and they will have the interceptors. They're not going anything that will destroy the interceptors minus the siege part, but then again, that's just speculation.
There are the broods. Level 12.
Level 12. Now, I don't necessarily agree with the mines because they do have EMP that will decloak them, and they do have Acid Splash, or the ability to use Acid Splash to mine sweep.
So yeah, we'll see to what advantage these mines are used. You can see Wildfire spacing them out very wide intervals right now, so they appear to be more of a harassment technique than kind of a lure and kill with them, at least at this point, since they don't really have the power anyway. Level 1. I saw a ping happening. What was somebody trying to point out? Attack point or what?
I'm sorry, attack point?
Who was pinging? Do you know why a ping was happening?
I didn't see the ping.
Okay.
But I do notice that everyone did tech into PDDs. Dirty Applement does have a little mile, but I don't know if that's enough to warrant PDDs. I would think something like Protective Field, maybe, taking something like Shield Transfer, or I did see a couple mines go off, so they might be aware of mines going now if they're being very observant.
Well, you're going to see Bylight eat a bunch of Scepters right there and put some damage on Luigi. You think maybe he just wants that to really nullify that double levy build, just keep those guys from being out in front and just trying to dominate that farm? If anybody knows how much 2 levies can hurt you when they get farmed up, it's going to be the Eclipsis guys, because they hurt people with that.
If you look, Bytelight's having to go energy build at 14 tentacles. The other levy, Dirty Applement, has 12 tentacles level bile. So I think they're more worried about Luigi. As long as Luigi stays alive, I don't think PDD's really warranted, because they'll push him off. Plus, with a double Destro like Artemis, skillful player, and Esco, skillful player, especially if they teched into Protective Field, I don't think the bile would actually warrant anything. But, being passive, aggressive at the same time, drop PDDs, not even have to worry about it, it works out for the best anyways. Oh, all the mines are selected. Oh, never mind. I thought Wildfire was getting ready to blow them all, but he's just going to blow a couple.
Alright, so you see, just a couple of those mines. You might not have seen it as I looked away for a second and zoomed into the blank nothingness of the sky, but you didn't miss too much, luckily. 17 tentacles on Bylight right now. Dirty's got 12, he's got 11 bile, and on the other side, OSB 11 and 11. Got his rapid regen, as do the levies over here. Acid spray on Bylight, but not on Dirty right now, but he is the one up here with Luigi. Why is that happening?
I'm sorry, are you asking, can you say it again? I was actually going to make a different statement.
They've got Dirty Appomat up here with Luigi. He does not have the acid spray. On the other hand, Bite Light was down on the bottom, and he's the one with acid spray.
Well, I guess that's just your question, Wildfire warping in. Maybe they're just hoping to get a warp in to stop Luigi because, you know, those interceptors will hurt. I don't think I've seen them use feedback yet, so they don't know to worry about that yet. I would like to see Luigi stop teching interceptors and get Vortex so they can catch one of these Destros. Because, you know, they have enough DPS to melt one of these Destros or any of the other ships with Averland there to be a nurse. I mean, they'd be perfectly fine doing that. But, you know, going massive interceptors, there's nothing wrong with that. I just want to see, you know, something such as a Vortex rundown build since they do have the Destros going it. I mean, maybe they're waiting for, you know, a level 11 seed or something like that. We do see both Artemis and Esco go Protective Field. They do not get any more lasers. Let's see here. No gats on Artemis. Esco just keeps the same amount. They do get a couple more armor each, a couple of energy so they can span the Protective Field a little bit more. Luigi is in the yellow. Bombardment does go down on OSP, but it's canceled quickly by Yellow Man. PDEs are preventing them from pushing in. Bite Light does Acid Splash, and he almost got himself, but not quite. OSP's pushing in with the 15 bile. It is going to be a lot of DPS. Wildfire needs to drop back so he can tank some.
Yeah, that is a lot of damage he's taking right there. The turn comes from Wildfire. Okay, now they're backing out of there. Ooh, that was a lot of DPS to just keep taking. 15 on the bile.
They are level 9 mines right now, which does 860 damage. And the formation that he is doing, I'm just going to like to call diamond or triangle, since it does look like he's triangulating areas.
20, yep, so looks like the farm advantage for Nephilim right now is in about 500. 5v5 right now. Yeah, as Howler was saying, those mines are up to 9, so getting ready to start doing a little bit. What are we looking for out of Yellow Man? Looks like, okay, he's got his protective field and he's got bombardment. So he's the kind of smack you in the face kind of Destro that you probably would see alongside a mine destroyer like this.
Now we still don't see, you know, some of the staples at 30 minutes for a Raven. This is not to be too, you know, harsh or whatnot. Blackout's not really warranted because there's no carrier. It's a lot of bile on there at a time. But defensive matrix, I mean, they have seen the mines go happen. I mean, I would like to see defensive matrix, just because it would allow, you know, the levies to take.
Dusk is going to take a huge push right now, taking a lot of damage. He's going to die. He goes down at the hands of well, everybody. You see Larson is kind of, oh, and there's the text to save them on the way back. Wow, nice. As you see Iso take a hard turn right before that text grabs snatches everybody up.
Trouble. He is in the text. Says the Destro. Are we going to see another push? Luigi did warp in more interceptors while he was waiting. Level 17, he has a total of 14. Bite Light will probably go down. He doesn't have enough for health regen or acid spray.
He's on his bike and looks like he's gonna. Looks like he is gonna survive that. But man, that was close. He got the regen going now. But wow, so just a very strong push right in the middle. Really choked that advantage that Nephilim had right then, taking that Guardian. But who did we see go down for Eclipsis?
We saw a Levy go down. I don't think it was a good trade at all. One Levy for a Guardian. I mean, they just did not take the mine seriously. You know, look at Everlane. You know, just she lost all of her shields transferring to try to keep people alive. She could not do anything for the levies because she did not have defensive matrix. PDDs were being spammed, and so is the EMP. We did see Luigi do safety techs, but it came slightly too late. I mean, he couldn't really do anything at that point because they just didn't know how much damage and how many mines to expect. We do see the entire middle and left side of the map cleared of mines now, but it's very easy for a 500 energy Destro to just re-mine up.
Alright, so yeah. That farm advantage is sitting at about 700 for Nephilim right now. After that levy OSB goes down, he was the high farmer. If he, you know, he's still the high farmer on the Eclipsis side. Wow, yeah, that was a tough loss Dusk was tough with those Brood Lords, sitting at 590 for his score as well. We're gonna see what's the okay. So how does Eclipsis win this match?
I mean, they could still have a very, very powerful comp of, a siege chase out. The one thing that, since they have waited slightly longer and lost another ship, and because the interceptors have forced the levies to go armored tank with some tentacles with bile. So I mean, now the problem is the levies can just sit on top of the siege destro and just melt them if they have frenzy, which we see with Highlight. He is going to be spamming some bile discharge. I love seeing that on levies since we rarely see that.
Yeah, that's true. We do rarely see that. Let's talk about bioplasma discharge right now. The perks of having that bioplasma discharge, it increases in range with range ups, or it's upgradable for range at least. Is that
yes.
isn't that the case? Yeah. Well,
yeah.
I was saying it, and then I was kind of like, that is true, isn't it? I wasn't sure whether that still was the case because it's used so rarely.
I mean, I think it's a great counter to the destros right now since they are going into armor, because it does 1600 damage regardless of how much armor you are. I mean, at least that used to be the case, but now with extra hull, it does mitigate that by 25%. If I was feeling, if I was feeling awesome, I would do the calculation out for you, but I'm just going to do a rough estimate. That is going to be about a 350 nerf.
So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Howler is not feeling awesome right now. Happy Halloween to everyone, and hopefully the rest of your holiday season goes well.
Ooh, I'm sorry. Are you seeing this as well? The level 21 interceptors are being countered by Wildfire's mines.
Yep.
He is just destroying one at a time just to mitigate the damage that he would receive. He doesn't have a protected field. He only has 5 armor. He's going energy build. He's laying mines. He hasn't really upgraded them since. He is going to go back with a K farm. At this point in time, do you suggest, defensive field and more energy for mines and mine upgrades? I mean, I know my personal answer, but I just didn't know as someone that actually loves to play Destro as you.
I want to stress the coolness of having these mines spread out and blowing them up as a counter to interceptors. You don't see people doing it. I think it's cool, even though Wildfire is not cool himself. That is very awesome, but I kind of digressed and forgot what it was you were asking me. Sorry.
Yes. Well, it kind of doesn't matter at this point because we've already seen the upgrades. Wildfire opted to go more energy and to not upgrade his mines. With 1000 farm, I really expect him to, go get a little bit more tanky just in case they did a push somehow. In case they vortex him to have survivability since he has so much energy. I would have just let them see that extra reinsurance. Yellow Man, of course, gets it. He goes more army. He's going to be the tanky one. Ooh, yeah.
Eruption and Frenzy on Buy It Light right now. Wildfire's up to 14 on those lasers, and Yellow Man's got 12. Here comes Dirty. Now Dirty is up to 17.4 for his health. Only regen right now. 14 bile, 15 tentacles. So you can see that farm distance, that farm discrepancy manifesting itself in how powerful these ships are getting on the Nephilim side. 900 at the advantage right now, and Eclipsis is going to need to deny some of this. Maybe get some more energy deny on these levies, so they can do less.
I mean, they do have feedback and EMP, and Katie is just being stretched too thin right now, and I think a little bit too much is expected of her at this point. She does have defensive matrix at this point, and Artemis is still taking into lasers, so we might actually apparently see, a siege mode. What we did see a lot of money for Wildfire be spent on was 75 more energy and a lot of lasers to help him counter against those interceptors.
So yeah, there, as you heard Howler say it, Artemis comes out. She's got siege ready. With those 12 lasers, so
at this point, if I was Luigi, I'd be looking for the squishiest target to vortex and siege and bombardment as they have PDDs, defensive matrix ready, And, you know, as strange as it might seem, but it's a Destro that's, you know, the squishiest, and that'd be Wildfire since he does take into energy and only has 5 armor, 1/5 speed. Yellow Man has 1/6 speed and 9 armor. So, you know, if Wildfire does get caught out of position, it is going to be hectic. We do see an EMP go off on him, but it's a little late. He's already laid down his mines. It looks like Luigi has upgraded speed to 1/7 to, you know, be able to catch Wildfire.
Alright, so Luigi at that 1/7's got the Vortex ready. He's starting to do shield recharge, and he's up to 450 for the energy. So 23 on those interceptors too.
We do see a cheeky play by Averlin. She did it's a Matrix Luigi so he could push forward as Wildfire was blowing up single mines at a time.
Alright.
Now, interesting enough, there is no counter to Bite Light on the outside, and so what they're going to do is they're just going to throw Artemis out there. I find that actually quite strange, just because, you know, Esco is the armor tank on the out, so I think he'd build a counter is like a lot better. But I guess the reason why is because of all the lasers that Artemis has and trying to make their siege as most powerful as they can. I don't know. Do you agree with that assessment?
Well, do you really think ESO is going to do a lot better job out there? The going up against Bite Light in one of your Destros is just it's probably a tough job for any of them to handle at this point. But I am not exactly sure what ESO's goal is right now, so you could be right.
I mean, he does have 91 armor when he does throw up, you know, the protective field, versus, you know, Artemis, you know, having slightly less.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. You were saying he's the tankier guy, and yeah, I think the difference is not too much. But we do see a little bit of player hatred going on Wildfire here. He's gonna get out of there. The mines are starting to get a little bit empty over in this area. A little emptied out. Wildfire just keeps building them up behind there, so a lot of mines still out on the map.
Now, the one thing that's interesting is it's not ECL can't really do too much now that Wildfire has established map control with the mines, but they had been successfully contained for quite some time. You have to do something as a team at this point. You just can't be contained for a long period of time and expect to make a total defense. I mean, back in the day it was more viable, but at this point, I mean, what do you do as ECL to push out? I mean, there's 2 levies. The longer you wait, the more, you know, hard it is to counter them with their bile. You know, it gives Wildfire more time to lay more mines. You know, Yellow Man's just going to keep spamming bombardment and keep it contained. Do you go for perhaps like a warp trick with a Vortex in the siege, or you just wait for, you know, Wildfire or Yellow Man to push too deep in Vortex?
I say you wait. I say you wait for that. I mean, everyone's pretty spread out on the Nephilim side, so you can get that Tex on them, or you got these levies over here harassing. You drop a Vortex between the 2 of them. Maybe you get somebody isolated while you've got those levies put away for a second. But I don't know.
Vortex
then there you can see the
Luigi. He does catch Bite Light. Let's see if Artemis can come up and siege up. Let's see. The Destros on Nephilim side are coming over. We're going to see Wildfire perhaps lay some desperate mines. Nope, he's just going to push in. That is level 13 siege. It does 1500 damage. We will see Nephilim push in on Artemis with bombardment. Now they're retreating out. Exego is going to push. He does the push Chester build with it. Ooh, it's not going to be enough DPS unless the launch can be set on him. Health regen is up. He pops it. Health regen does dead. 2100 health. He drags him through the mines. There is a
He's
blackout.
leading him directly to the mines. There you see. Ezo's gonna drop that bombard, and he's gonna go down as he kills Bite Light. Very fun trade to watch right there. I don't know. Bite Light was the guy that you want to kill if you just gotta kill somebody over there. 1400 was his score at the time of death. So if he had any little Leviathan children, they got quite the inheritance just then from his will. But
I mean, I'm actually quite depressed right now that Wildfire did not use his 600 energy and spam mines while the Vortex was up. Therefore, you know, Bite Light could go through an even extended mine field that would have actually saved him, because, you know, all those mines would have been right outside. It would have been a graded deterrent.
That's a good point. No additional mines came up. You were expecting to see that. Probably would have saved his guy. Nephilim is still looking at, 700 advantage on the farm right now.
See, I don't know if that was a great trade, partly because, Esco did have second most farm on their team. I mean, it was a great thing to take out Bylight, who did have the most farm on Nephilim's team, but you also lost your second most farmed ship on your team. So I guess it's a decent trade if you look at it on paper, but at this point in time, it's down to 3v3 and we'll see if it worked out.
Yeah, so down to this 3 versus 3 situation. The high farmer is now Dirty Appomat. The levy formerly known as Simo Wet Puss up there, nearing 1200. And then next is Luigi and that carrier. Right after that, Wildfire and the Destro that's spamming the mines out here.
I would like to retract my previous statement about being a terrible trade because I did not notice Dirty Appomat does not have Acid Spray, which is kind of confusing at this point. It's level 26 interceptors. Before that was level 21. He's pushing in on him. He does have 18 tentacles, 11 armor, but that's just not enough when you're going against level 26 interceptors by yourself. It's just going to be enough to keep you pushed back. He is going to have to spam rapid regen constantly. It does heal him at 2500, but I mean, you have so much as well have Acid Splash at this point in time. It not only does it counter the interceptors, it also helps you add DPS to groups when they ball up. I mean, I'm just sad to see that.
Do you think we're looking at
halfway through?
Maybe a result of this is not really a ship that he plays, maybe combined with nobody has just pointed out to him. Maybe people are making assumptions as to what he's got working out right there, or what could be the reason for that?
I mean, up to a point, but you just had Bylight playing an excellent lobby this game. I mean, you would think you just follow the example of a ship that is doing extremely well if you're less experienced. I mean, that's what I used to do before I had too much experience. And I mean, you can't go wrong having Acid Spray. I mean, he is going to be kept in the yellow health bar, almost the entire time if Luigi just keeps warping in interceptors and launching him. And then that's going to set up a vortex and they might lose another ship. I mean, granted, they don't have a tank to push out, but they still have Artemis' Siege. I mean, they have Blackout, they have Defensive Matrix, PDDs, EMP from Katie. I mean, her shield transfer has been up to 1 time. I mean, so it'd be an interesting play. I mean, if you think about it at late game, 1200 HP isn't a lot to melt, especially if you have 2 ships concentrating. 18 lasers on a Destro and Siege is going to be almost 2200 DPS.
Yep.
You have level 26 interceptors and 93 damage each. He has a total of 14. I mean, that could have been an easy kill had they were playing more aggressive. Dirty Appomat does go back now. Let's see if he does get the Acid Spray.
396 is the number of minerals that he holding. Let's see if he goes ahead, if he makes that purchase as he heads in. And yep, he's got the Acid Spray now. So he knows that that's going to be pivotal in order to deal with these guys. Yellow Man comes out, still at 12 on the lasers right now. Wildfire's still at 14. Wildfire's up to 17 armor.
And he doesn't have. I think he just opted to not have to rely on energy as far as doing protective field, and just opted to straight normal armor.
So there you have it. Wildfire with the heavy armor. Yellow Man with the more conventional 9 right now. Probably wants to up that. Artemis is out here, 21 laser battery right now. So that Gauss cannon, when it comes up, is going to be doing damage quite significant.
I don't know if I necessarily agree with Yellow Man's upgrade path. He started taking to mines as well. I mean, I can't tell what level his mines are because I haven't found his batch. They're level 15. Wildfire's is level 18. Had I been Yellow Man, I think I would have teched a little bit more into lasers just so that I wouldn't have to have the levy stay near me the entire game. And then on top of that, that does allow you to go straight into Siege. I mean, if Dirty Appomat stuck around, they wouldn't be able to get close enough to Blackout because he would just melt Avalon. So, I mean, there are some mines, you have your Bile, you can't get blacked out at that point unless it's a text Blackout. But, you know, Luigi only has 6 shield. He does have recharge shield now. Evelyn does have 7 shield on herself. So, you know, I think it just varies. Dirty Appleman is playing a Howler game, aka always a lower levy. I mean, he is below double, never mind. Health regen, 2800.
Yeah, the health regen can give you quite the little boost when you need it. Luigi's gonna keep the harassment out there with those level 27 scepters, though. His vortex is it's ready to go if the energy comes up. But at this point, you'd have to well, Wildfire and Averlin having a little spat down here on the bottom. A little disagreement between Destros and Ravens, and there's the blackout. Basically tell him to get out of there. And here comes Artemis, gonna go ahead and try to get the jukes on him. It looks like she's gonna push. Oh, never mind. She pulls back a little bit. Probably knows that he's trying to pull her into some mines. And I guess what we're seeing here is Wildfire wants Nephilim to just put mines just absolutely everywhere, so that these guys can't move without accepting the fact they're gonna eat some damage from those bad boys. Wildfire is heading back, so we will see what he decides to do with those 500 whatever minerals. Let's grab some more energy. Yellow Man's out here with 500 energy as well. Like Howler was saying, level 15 on those mines. Dirty. Go ahead.
Now, the one thing I find interesting with Luigi's build is he's been stuck at 14 interceptors for quite some time, and he's just opting to keep increasing the damage they put. That is a great strategy, but you get to a point where it's cheaper to buy, you know, the increase in interceptors than it is actually buy an individual upgrade on them. So, I mean, I would love to see a count of 16 interceptors with his level 27 interceptor damage.
Alright, so we may see that quite soon.
21 lasers on Artemis. I'm sorry, I just wanted to point that out if you had not.
Yeah, Artemis has got the lasers up heavily. So, it's going to be tough to deal with. Wildfire has gotten himself up to 19 lasers. So he went back and upped those some, even grabbed a couple shields for the giggles. And
I personally have confidence in Luigi and Averlin being able to provide enough support that Artemis could actually snipe a tower. I mean, at this point, granted, yeah, the map is like mined pretty well, but you know, the other team just doesn't know if the outsides are mined. I would experiment with going on the outsides and attempting to snipe a tower using Vortex and Blackout as a defensive mechanism to retreat, and just not going through the middle, which we obviously know there's heavily mines.
Okay, so yeah, we see Averlin is sort of using those EMPs to shoot them out into space, kind of open up a little space there and some vision for Artemis and the Destro out here. We saw some pings. I'm not sure who was doing it, but it might be Eclipsis looking for what you were saying, that outside opportunity on the towers.
I just love it. I mean, I said it, and Yellow Man just dropped some mines out by their right-hand tower.
There you go. See the mines right there. Level 19 on those mines right now. Wildfire's mines are at level 18.
Now, I know Artemis is trying to go for the OP Siege, but at this point, it's an hour into the game. You know, she's relying heavily on Protective Field. I might suggest, you know, 1 to 2 more armor upgrades just normally.
So why not do it right now? Just hit Wildfire with it as he's out in front of his mines right there.
I can't tell if Luigi actually understands that there's no mines around him, or if he's just playing aggressive for himself. I mean, he's doing well either way. He has level 30 interceptors. He's still at the 14 count though.
Alright, so yeah, those interceptors are getting dirty a little bit. Well, he's over there fighting some farm right now. But yeah, Luigi is healthy, full shields, full hull right now. Just keeping those interceptors going out there, trying his best to keep denying. Haven't looked at farming a little bit. Maybe I should do that. Looking at Dirty, Wildfire, and Yellow Man all up over 1100. Dirty all the way up to over 1600. Luigi's over 1200 right now, but Artemis and Averlin are still sub 900. So they're gonna try to keep up. Artemis has got the lasers to make that money, and when the siege comes up, it will be pretty powerful. The farm advantage overall is 1200 for Nephilim.
I would just love to see Wildfire since he has so much energy. He has so many mines out there. He has 17 armor. He has no, he doesn't have protective field. Never mind. But I would just love to see him use a siege and take out a tower. Granted, that's going to force Averlin to come in and blackout. But what you do in that case is you allow your levy to actually go and hit all the battle he can. He's only got 14, which is 120 damage at this point because he's taking into armor and tentacles. But I mean, I'm at about 550 energy, so that he can just spam acid spray and health regen whenever he wants, versus being forced to, you know, use it at his discretion. Because level 30 interceptors, that takes 2 acid sprays per launch to even like make a dent in them. And on top of that, you have to actually run away from them to allow the acid spray effect to occur, so you can maximize your efficiency of your tentacles.
Artemis is up to 27 lasers.
Artemis pushed in. She took some DPS right there. I mean, it dropped her down halfway on her health.
Yellow Man has gone up to 15 on his armor and just added 1 to his lasers so far. Dirty up to 28 on the tentacles. Luigi sitting at 30 on those, and he has gotten his 16 interceptor count, so the interceptor number is increasing there. Averlin, 12 lasers, up to 600 energy here. Actually, probably been there for a little bit. And there, okay, it looks like Eclipsis is working into the map a little bit. Nephilim hasn't really made any aggressive push towards them, preferring to sit back and pop those mines out. But this is allowing Luigi to make some pretty good money out here.
See, I'm not
over 1300 now. What's
I'm
up?
starting to agree with you about Dirty Implement not being a primary levy player. The only reason being is he just now got his 550 energy, and he allowed himself to be EMP'd twice without using his health regen, therefore taking unnecessary damage while not being able to deal out his maximum damage because of the PDDs that were dropped. So, I mean, just little things like that would allow him to push further and make ECL retreat further back, but, you know, everyone's got to learn somehow.
Now I've got a remark in my chat channel right now that they think that Bite Light is actually controlling Dirty's levy, and Dusk may be controlling the mines to kill interceptors. So if that's the case, I don't know.
I mean, that would explain the upgrade pass being slightly variant. I mean, that is a good call. I mean, I need to stop using that word. I would just really like to see one of the teams put pressure and take a tower, because at this point in time, that would be the ultimate game changer, other than losing a ship. It looks like ECL is going to ball up against 2 Nephilim.
Yep. They're
pushing out. EMP goes down there so they can eliminate some of those mines that have been decloaked. Ooh, Luigi's just walking over some of them that they weren't able to clear in time, which is fine because, you know, he's got his shield recharge maxed out, so he can spam it as fast as he wants at 2 seconds. He is able to recharge about 1700.
Vortex.
Oh, Vortex goes down. Artemis, is she gonna have time to set up siege, or is she gonna opt to not?
Wildfire's coming, trying to. He's gonna dive into that thing, and that's gonna be rough to take. Level 30 on that siege right now. She's gonna hit
Artemis
Wildfire.
Is being left behind by her team. She's de-sieging. Isn't gonna be enough. She only has 8 armor and protective field and defensive matrix. Ooh. This is just painful to watch right here. I can just imagine how much DPS she's taking, but Katie's doing a great nurse right now. She's spamming defensive matrix, shield transferring, and
Wow.
this really doesn't look like she takes too much damage right
Exactly. It looks like she had started to melt, and then it just came to a screeching halt as those nursing techniques kicked in. Those DMATs coming out there.
It was
that transfer
260
to
shield transfer. I just looked it up. But I think when I look back on this right now, I think what it was not just nursing, but it was also a lack of focus fire right there. I mean, granted, she was the only target to focus on, but I didn't really see, a bombardment come out from Yellow Man when it could have happened. Instead, they chose to stack on her and not use bombardment, which I mean, kind of not effective when it can do 2100 DPS. That would negate the shield transfer.
Yeah. Alright, so Artemis makes it out of there. She's got the bots working right now to get back into the fray. That level 30 laser is strong. Unfortunately, that siege, she couldn't take full advantage of what she had going on as the Nephilim guys kind of brought it together. Averlin's out with which purchase. Grabbed plenty of shields. Level 15 on the shields right now. Looks like a little bit of DPS starting in on that tower. Up there's a PDD, prevent Dirty Appomet from really getting any of that going on. He's going to run out. He's up over 20,000 with his health right now. That's why he looks so ridiculously huge. 18 armor and 600 energy to get that frenzy, rapid regen, and acid spray going. Wildfire's back on the bottom of the map trying to get some of these mines put back up. They had some stuff expire. Lost some, so he's trying to get that built up again. But as Howler's been saying, looks pretty conservative for these guys who have been kind of in control of the map for a very long time at this point. We're at 1 hour and 12 minutes. I mean, you'd think that with this advantage, they might have gotten a little aggro and just went in here and did some damage. 1,500 is the farm advantage right now.
We do see 23 lasers on Yellow Man, but no siege. Wildfire is at 29 lasers, no siege. If they're worried about blackout, they just got to think in their mind that only one blackout is available and one text is available. So if they do their spacing right, they would force, complete defensive tactics by ECL. And once they've been desieged, they have enough energy and enough time to, use their cooldown siege to just re-siege back up and take out a tower. I mean, at this point in time, 20,000 DPS isn't a lot compared to 23 lasers and, 29 lasers and 15 bile, especially if he has frenzy and then he goes corruption and uses acid spray. That's a huge, amplifier of all your damage.
I agree. Wildfire just spent 1,300 minerals. He grabbed
energy.
Yeah, a lot of energy. Even grabbed a few gats, but mostly just a big energy bump out of him right now.
I would just like to say level 31 tentacles at 1 hour and 13 minutes. And 600 energy. I mean, at this point in time, this would be a silly tactic, but I would love to see, Dirty Appomet either get heavy into DPS with his Battle Swarm, or just tech into something that's not being used, like Corruption, or, even going Corruptors, granted very low level Corruptors, because that would just force Luigi to waste his Interceptor usage on the Corruptors. And he has so much farm that it'd be an easy transition, and just attempt a base snipe, if anything, with using Corruptors.
And here's a lag out. We'll see if ESO... Now, ESO did get killed in that big push when he took the Guardian Bite Light out. So he's not playing right now. Carefully observing. And we're back without anyone. Oh, and he's back up on the waiting for players screen. So, but at this point, yeah, you got a lot of money being made on this Nephilim side. They're in control of this match right now, but Eclipsis is playing very, very well with the disadvantage they have in the farm right now. Some tenacious interceptor use by Luigi over here, keeping Dirty at bay, and some good nurse action from Averlin saved Artemis from what looked like a melt that was going to happen. But I'm thinking if you're Nephilim, maybe you get your other destroyer to get protective field by now.
This is just a very strange game for me. It might be because I'm a very passive player in the first few minutes of the game. But once you start getting to mid and late game, you have to be aggressive, especially if you're dominating, because all that happens is you're drawing out the game. I mean, this is an exciting game to watch, but the only strategy that could be a grand scheming strategy that I could possibly imagine for Nephilim is they're just hoping the farm gets so powerful that Katie can't two-shot it, triple-shot it, or quadruple-shot it, and it just eventually kills her, because she won't be able to keep up with doing lasers and being a grand nurse.
Okay, so we'll see if they really wanted to go to that level, but you have to think that you don't want to give these guys a chance to pull some shenanigans on you. You want to get the advantage. You want to take advantage of the advantage. Is that terrible and redundant? But you want to do that. Oh, ref, they're looking at you to drop him. So do your ref thing and do it. Alright, ESO is dropped from the game. We're back. Looking at Yellow Man right now, up to them 23 lasers. Out there trying to get some mines laid. Artemis up to the 30 lasers. Is holding the middle right now. And Wildfire is 29 on his lasers. Eats an EMP right there, but he has laid a considerable amount of mines down here. And you are starting to see the mines a little bit more on top of the map now, as opposed to previously where it was pretty much no mines, just Dirty up there messing around with Luigi, and now he's got a little bit of extra support from those mines that are out there now. Alright, Luigi's up to 35 on those interceptors, 10 on his shields, and yeah, like Howler said earlier, that shield recharge is maxed out, so he can recharge that shield very quickly. We're gonna see Artemis go in for some ups right now. She's got 1000 in the bank, and she's gonna pour that into those lasers, up to 34 on the lasers right now. Averlin is 18 lasers, 16 shields, 600 energy. Do you think that amount of energy is enough at this stage in the game?
To be honest, I wasn't quite listening to exactly what ships you were calling out, because some people have been PMing me just to ask simple questions like, how big is the delay that you have on the stream? Is it 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 8 minutes? Ooh, Dirty Aftermath was pushing on Luigi, and he got inside his range for Bile. Luigi was being smart and not actually running away, but staying close enough that the Bile wasn't actually able to get DPS. So he was avoiding...
There's a text! Dirty Apomet is in the text right now, hanging out in the swimming pool. Artemis is going to set up that siege right now with Yellow Man on top of her. He does a bombard somewhere. Oh, Dirty. Eating the siege, moving on top of Artemis right now.
I don't know if I agree with this, because Luigi's just going to relaunch on him, and he doesn't have... Oh, there goes the health regen. It's almost there in 2 seconds. Will it be enough? Yes, they're able to force...
Frenzy goes up. The Bile comes in, and Artemis gets the E-shields up. D-Mat's there. Shield transfer is there.
It's going to be enough, I think.
It's going to be enough.
Oh, bombard.
The bombard doesn't work? No, it's not. The bombard's not enough.
See, this is what I think as a lobby. At this point, you have to do something more creative than just doing your same tentacles. You have to have corruption at this point. Why not have corruption? You have to have higher bile. Why not? You have to have more energy. Why not? The reason why he has to go more energy, in my opinion, is because he's not avoiding feedbacks. I mean, he has level 10 range. Why are you not avoiding feedbacks? Why are you not avoiding energies? I mean, take into 11 range if you're still worried about this. It's not going to cost that much for you at this point when you're making Bane.
Alright, so there's a blackout on Wildfire down here. That makes a couple times. They got that siege Tex up, and despite everyone being on top of Artemis as she came out of that siege, they were not able to get that kill. This time they did get her down to them E-shields popping, but just not enough with that DMAT and that heavy shield transfer. The Raven showing its late game abilities quite nicely in this game, as we are at 1 hour and 20 minutes.
Interesting enough, just pointing out the range factor again, Artemis has 9 range on her lasers. So one more range upgrade, which I believe is the 800 range for the Destro, and she will be able to keep up kiting with 30 F in regular non-siege mode, and she's still sticking at 8 armor. I mean, at this point, is 1-2 armor upgrades too much to ask, or is it just wasting money when you can save it more lasers?
Well, with the amount of shield transfer that she's got right next to her, she's managed to make that 8 armor enough. But yeah, as you guys can see, 420 on that shield transfer. That thing is big, so it's quite helpful. As you see, they're not going into those mines. They're not getting drawn into those mines. I don't know if the Nephilim guys are expecting that to happen, but it's very obvious that Luigi is just waiting to pop this Tex on somebody so that the siege can get him. And he's up here, 1.7 speed. There's a blackout on Wildfire right now. Ants are gonna come in there. Ants are gonna do pretty decent damage over here. You see them try to pop some. You see them try to pop some mines. Wildfire needs a little bit of support. When he's blacked out like that, he's not able to really combat those ints in the way that he would like to, sitting at that 29 lasers. But yeah, Eclipsis is not going into that minefield. They refuse, and they're gonna wait for Nephilim to come forward again and probably try that tech siege again. You have to think that eventually that siege is going to be so powerful that whoever starts getting hit by it is going to have to run away instead of just hopping on top. Does that seem to be what it looks like to you?
It appears to be a strategy. I'm trying to recall the correct name for it. People that are watching or Easter, feel free to correct me. I think it's kinetic cannon, is where the
kinetic weapons.
Yeah, kinetic weapons is where you ignore armor. I mean, I would love to know how much Artemis has, because at this point, 17 armor with a plus 50, it's a little ridiculous. And Yellowman at 15 armor, and so to maximize your DPS at that point, you need that. I mean, if she had the 200 upgrade, I think she can melt these people, but I'm not quite sure. I haven't been paying attention when she goes back to see what upgrade she's on. So that's something I'll have to keep a lookout for.
Yeah, kinetic weapons gonna make a huge difference in this when you're trying to siege against these guys who have all that armor.
Luigi again getting inside Dirty Applemat's range. He could have gone down, but Dirty Applemat is just choosing to use his level 31 tentacles, even though he could still use his tentacles while using his bio.
Those interceptors are up to 38. Do you think about scouts at all if you're on the Eclipsis side?
I'm sorry, I just got a glimpse at Artemis, and she has not even upgraded the first kinetic weapon, which, you know, is only 50. She should seriously think about going there, but then again, how many times do you see Destros tech into that? But then again, to use the same phrase again, how many games go into the hour-and-a-half mark? They're the second game in the series.
Well, I think you see kinetic weapons more often than you think. It's not just for your siege, but also helps out for your gats. So
I don't really see too many people go gats in demo games.
At this stage in the game, though, with armor being this high, those percentage points are something you'd really like to have. As you see that fat shield transfer come out there. Artemis gonna get a little bit of support. The D-Mat's on Luigi. He took a pretty decent amount of damage from Dirty, who looks like he's trying to get down and dirty on him right now, but even though he's gonna dive in there a little bit, he's not going to get the kill.
Going for the tower finally.
There's the siege. Yellow Man.
For a couple extra DPS.
Wildfire staying back in support with those 29 lasers.
I would love to see Wildfire go in slightly
Blackout.
more and bombard that PDD before Luigi came back out.
Here's Luigi. The
going
Tex
right
is
now. He is gonna
bam.
get him.
Artemis is
Tower's
up in
still
the
up.
siege. This is a bad situation for Nephilim right now. Actually, this siege. This is a 39 level Gauss cannon right here.
That is 3,090 DPS with
The half
the
nuke.
power being 100. Oh no, Wildfire did go in and did force Artemis to inch up, I guess would be the correct phrase.
Yeah, I guess inching up, millimetering up. That
Does space
is
go by inches or does it by...
in space. They measure everything in decimeters, but
In StarBattle space, that's interesting.
but the science vessel is going to live, so they managed to save it.
Very disappointing.
Yeah, I did not think that there was a way that science vessel could survive, but they didn't hit it up fast enough before Luigi came out with that text. And Dirty looks like he's gonna go. Well, I don't know. I don't know where the upgrades are going.
This replay because I would personally like to hear his reasoning why there is no corruption on his levy at this point. Even if it is someone else controlling your levy, even if it's someone that's not experienced playing your levy, Wildfire in an hour and a half has had a chance to ask his teammate if he has corruption. And corruption right now would have been the difference. That tower would have gone down with that extra 30% damage.
Yeah, that's true. That corruption is underrated just because it gets overshadowed by some of those other abilities. But 30 seconds of taking an extra 20% damage is significant. Let's
I would
see.
even
We
like
got
to see
Wildfire
discharge.
has prop field. She's coming out with his
Bile
bile discharge is. Well-
If they use Biodischarge on any of the ships that everyone's being forced to shield transfer, that would help negate the shield transfer. It would
Yep.
at least would allow their teams to choose.
Oh, Artemis taking heavy
Shield transfer's
damage.
going
Here's
in
the
now.
frenzy. You're probably
If
gonna
she
see
can live
E-shields
for those 40
pop.
seconds,
You're probably gonna. Oh no, you're not even gonna see E-shields pop. That shield transfer is just OP. There's the Tex. Smacked him with it. Get him out of there. Artemis gonna come back and siege up. She's got 18 range right now.
the range just on the outside of the vortex, so she should be able to get 2 shots off. Oh, he's gonna stay in the range. So it's
Yeah,
gonna
he
be
doesn't
3
go
shots.
directly back. The PDD's there preventing that bile swarm from doing anything. So really, you gotta just take off at that point.
They really need to be using more effectiveness of the bombardment to get rid of the PDDs to allow the levy to actually get other DPS other than tentacles and acid spray.
Alright, Dirty's gonna run away, taking a little bit of interceptor damage. Those interceptors are up to what? We're looking at 38 on the interceptors right now.
So right now, if the game were to be called, who would you think has the edge? Because DCL's been doing a great, I guess you'd say, outer-based turtle defense, and Nephilim's been doing, I guess you'd say, a great half-load fight.
I mean, I gotta say Nephilim has the edge. It's the farm is 6,800 to 4,500. Eclipsis playing extremely well with what they have. Like I definitely would take nothing away from them, but there's a lot of contain happening here. These mines aren't. I mean, sure, these guys aren't taking a lot of damage from the mines because they're avoiding them, but the mines are serving a purpose. Keeping
Hermes
these
has been
guys
built
in
again,
there.
but here comes Defense Matrix and Shield Transfer. Luigi's going to absorb the damage, but he does have Shield Recharge, so it's not going to really amount to much. Dirty Applemat is just taking so much damage that it's boggling my mind that he's pushing so far, so hard, and taking so much damage, and
He's
not
got 30
allowing it to be
armor.
shared.
30 armor, so he's trying to be a bully. He's trying to get that classic end game levy bully these guys. But yeah, I think he's going to need a little bit more support from the Destros than them just laying mines all over the place. It makes for a pretty flower garden, but he's going to need help when it's time to push in here and actually get death dealt. Artemis is coming out 42 on the lasers right now.
Did you get a chance to see if she upgraded her kinetic weapon?
No, I did not check it in time. Averland's out with 20 on the lasers.
Still level 18 mines. EMP going down, they're going to clear some of them.
Let's see, what are the Destros purchasing at this point? 24 armor on Wildfire right now. 30 armor on Dirty Appomat. Yellow Man's got 20.
Artemis with 8, just want to give a comparison.
Yeah, Artemis still at 8. I think she's been at 8 for about an hour and 10 minutes now. And hasn't needed to go more because the nursing is very nurseful. So, Averland, constant DMATs, as you can see. DMAT goes down, puts another one on it instantly. Averland's up to 700 energy, so she can afford to do that.
Once Ireland gets to 850 energy and she upgrades to 22 shields and upgrades one more shield transfer, she can technically keep the ship alive all the way from the siege tower to the base as long as they avoid mines. And at this point, they need to seriously be considering this. Because the way Dirty Appleman's been playing, he's playing low health, he's in a text right now. Artemis is going to set up a siege. Blackout's about to come down on... Nope, Blackout's not going down. She's going to save it for Wildfire, I think.
Wildfire's going to come in and eats a feedback.
Oh, she's not concentrating on the... Oh, she split her fire way too much. She should be hitting Wildfire right now. But she's not. She's going to switch her fire over too late.
Oh, no, he's blacked out, but there are no ints on him, and there was no siege shooting at him. He might have died in that scenario.
Something interesting just caught my guard just because we've been talking about the same game so long that my attention's drifting slightly. But if you click on Luigi's ship, he's actually stress clicked. Oh my god. I hope you caught the minefield that just exploded on Artemis.
Yep.
I'm still in shock that someone could live, but then again, the back half of the mines did not blow up. Everland eating about 8 mines there, each mine doing roughly 1,500 damage. But the comment I was going to make about Luigi is he's definitely accidentally clipped the #1 rank 8 times. That he actually has the same carrier hotkey 8 times. It's nothing critical, it's just at this point in time, you need a little detail, it's different. My opinion is interesting.
Alright, so Luigi's going to go back to spend 630 minerals right now. Artemis and Averland hanging out, staying out of the range of those mines, keeping from taking that damage. And here comes Wildfire. I guess he's going to lay some more mines down. He's added a shield and gone up to 17 gats. So now he's ready to come in there and get busy next time Artemis goes into a siege. So that's what he's looking for. Get those gats increased. He eats a feedback. And there goes the
field.
Alright, gets it up there. 870 energy. Dirty's going to come hit the tower. Luigi's not going to have any of that. Are we going to see another vortex here? It is ready to go. Oh, no, he feedbacks him instead.
Dirty Appleman finally at 1.8 speed. I believe he was at 1.7 speed at this entire point.
Yellow Man's got the ints on him.
Another thing to point out in this game that might not have been talked about yet is the creep is actually at 110 health with 9 armor at this point in time of the game.
Yeah, we're at an hour and 40 minutes now, people. By this time, I'm sure Omega Star has finished cooking and finished eating his dinner. He may have eaten 2 dinners by this point. But yeah, we're nearing the 2-hour mark for this game right now. And it doesn't really look immediately like somebody is about to lose it.
Something that these teams probably aren't even thinking about right now because they're so entrenched in their game is they are entitled to a 30-minute break at the end of this game since it has gone on for so long. But will they be able to find enough players on their team to actually want to play a third game regardless of the outcome just because it's gone on so long? This series started 9 o'clock Central Time, which is 10 o'clock Eastern, so it's been going on for quite some time.
Yes, indeed. And Wildfire takes a little break in the middle of his minefield right there. Eats a EMP, was, just laying mines anyway, hanging out, laying some mines. Artemis is up to 44 on those lasers. That one's up to 21 on her shields right now. And Luigi's at 40 on those interceptors. They are tough. 40,
so,
an 18 scepter count.
So, personally, what is the highest level of interceptors you've seen in an in-house or tournament game?
I think 127.
Now I feel like you're trolling. 120, that would be over 20,000 farm that he would spend just alone on interceptors.
Yeah.
Unless he stood at the 10 interceptor count.
He had 180,000 score.
See, now you're just trolling me and your nonsense. I mean, I was contemplating whether or not you're being sincere. I mean, we should see an acid spray go down. There's the acid spray finally. Yellow Man will not take as much damage with 20 armor, but in all honesty, the highest I've ever seen was 47, and that was in an hour-long game, and that was with the carrier having the outside lane and winning it the entire game. So, if Luigi is able to break that threshold, I'll be thoroughly impressed, and that will go into my personal record book, even though it doesn't matter.
Yeah, nobody cares about your record book. But here's Dirty Appomat. He's still at 30 for his armor right now. Whoa! I didn't even know that this was happening. Wildfire gets murked by Artemis down here. So, I don't know if that was in the corner of my screen as I was looking at Dirty. I am so sorry that I didn't see that happening. But Wildfire goes down. Down goes
I'm looking
Wildfire.
right now at the stream just to see if I'm able to catch what happens. It looks like we're not at that part yet, but
Yeah.
he does it. I'm assuming he's going to do a stop. He's going to blow up his mines, and the mines aren't just going to damage Artemis, but they're going to damage him, and that's going to be the turning point since Artemis had the nurse with her and Wildfire did not.
Wow, so that's a feeling hurter right there. And the farm advantage is now 200 for Nephilim, where it was previously, well, let's just say a lot more. Eclipsis.
It was 2,000 if I remember correctly.
Eclipsis with the late game
Will you show the farm
slap to
score
the
on
face.
each ship real quick? Sorry, I just noticed that there's been a lot of PMs about that.
Yeah, I've been doing that as I saw the comment, but yeah, I would assume that Wild was out here just building up these mines, and Artemis, who maybe she sieged up as he was stopped, and on his way out, and he got blacked out, and then on his way out he got murked.
I'm carefully watching the stream to see what's going on.
Yeah, that's a 2-minute delay on the stream, so maybe that will be revealed soon here. Meanwhile,
what appears to happen is he was blacked out. His mines did go off doing damage to himself and Artemis did not siege. It's just at this point in time, I saw a mini launch. I didn't see an actual full interceptor launch on it. But that's what happens when, blackouts on you. And you have a nurse and a Destro chasing you and your own mines do so much damage to yourself.
wow, so that hurts a lot. Losing that Destro like that. Looked like they were in control. I would venture to say they're not in control anymore. The being spread out, you've got to be careful with things like 40 interceptors running around, Destros with 44 lasers, and Ravens that are just upgraded to their full nursing capability. It's a tough thing to deal with on your own if everybody gets a little piece of you. You see Dirty's at 36 on those tentacles right now, trying to fight against those level 40 interceptors, and Yellow Man is up to 32 on his laser battery at this point, 750 energy, and he's gonna try to get the mines laid, and Averland's gonna run around with the EMP and start getting this thing cleaned up. I don't know if he'll be able to lay mines at the rate necessary as Eclipsis starts to take over control of the map eventually here.
So what I would like to recap in this match is Nephilim just opted for an extremely passive strategy, one that personally I would not. Also, I feel like their levy play has hurt them significantly. Dirty Applemat's at 11 range, but he's still getting a fed back by Luigi. There's no need for that. And unless he's trying to put tentacle damage on Luigi, which at this point, it's not necessary, because he's just going to get launched on and his tentacles aren't going to do damage to Luigi anyways. That, not having corruption, not having bile discharge, you know.
Yeah, another thing I want to point out, to go exactly with what you're saying, as we just saw, he shot an acid spray at Luigi prior to interceptors coming out, and didn't have energy for the interceptors once they got out there. Took some pretty healthy damage. Now he's going back.
Take a quick look at the mothership with Dirty Applemat. I just want to point out he's actually bigger than the mothership at this point in time. Sorry. Just for the lulz, I thought we should see that.
So nearing 22,000 health. At this point, Dirty is probably just going to go sit in the corner and tell the mothership to come out and fight for a bit. So I don't know who will control the mothership. Perhaps Zidu himself.
I don't know. There's been a lot of discussion about BBD and his rewards. Actually, just so everyone knows, it was a bug, and Zidu did fix it. So, not that that's really important in this case, but I would like to see the mothership at this point trade spots with the levy.
Alright, so we'll see if that happens. Meanwhile, the levy is out here ready to do battle once more. Looking at the farm, it's still a Nephilim advantage right now. 300 on that farm advantage for Nephilim.
Someone went Corruptors level 6. Now, at this point, I have no idea what he's thinking revealing them this early. He should have totally gone for something more sneaky, such as going straight on a science vessel and popping, I think he has 725 energy worth of Corruptors, and having him be a higher level before he revealed them. Something like level 12 would have possibly stood up against the creep.
With these interceptors running around level 42, is Corruptors the thing you want to spend your energy on the front line out here?
Not, when you had 3 ships, yes, because it would force Luigi and Averland to waste energy and time fighting them. It'd force Averland to go down to whatever section the Corruptors were dropped at. Since you have dead people, they can control them, take into a tower. She would be forced to drop a PDD there. Force
Luigi on the outside. We're about to see a snipe with some scepters, and these scepters, please believe me, are powerful enough. That's 42, and he's got a count of 20. So if these guys in the Nephilim are not paying attention and warping back or doing something quickly, then they're gonna see potentially just the mothership go. I mean,
do you think he's?
What kind of scepters do you need to just straight up take someone's mothership out?
It's level 22 Broodlords, but for interceptors, it's level 41 to take out a science vessel in 35 seconds. He's got 42. The clock's at 153 and 07. Let's see how long it takes. He's just going to warp out after dropping him down.
That prism is getting wrecked.
It looks like it's going to be a little bit less or a little bit more than 35 seconds. I'm going to estimate that was 37.
There you go. The War Prism goes down. Nephilim
just
completely oblivious to that, I think, unless they were just letting it happen, which I doubt. Haven't seen an increase in armor or tentacles for Dirty in quite some time.
You know, with what upgrades they have, Luigi's going to go and take the other one. And just so the fans out there know, since we do have extremely loyal fans that have been watching this game for nearly 2 hours, these numbers I throw out are just entirely based off of, you know, Howler mind tricks as far as estimating mathematics. They're not anything that's pre-calculated out.
Alright, so there you go, Howler math.
It's new math.
It's new math. And Luigi's on his way to get this other tower. And yeah, Nephilim guys are out here just trying to hold the line. Yellow Man needs a blackout. Artie's got those lasers on him, hurting him. He's level 20. He's gonna get out of there. Level 20 on that armor. Luigi warps out and lets that warp prism take the L.
Carrier's not my main ship, but this is something you might be able to answer. Why is he not sticking around for, you know, to get the extra minerals? Or do you get the extra minerals when your interceptors are on him? That's something I'm not quite clear on, since I never try to snipe a tower with.
I don't know. I don't think your scepters being there gets you the minerals. I don't know that he even really cares about that little bit at this point. He just wants to get out of dodge. Now, I will point out that the warp prism didn't go down. Enough farms showed up from Nephilim's mothership to prevent that interceptor wave from doing it. So perhaps he could have waited a few more seconds, busted a warp in, and then gave it one more shot. He's gonna head back out for that prism, and this time it will go down undoubtedly. What is that?
That is what the creep is at.
Oh, okay.
Got 11 armor, which is quite a lot. 130 health and 38 DPS. Looks like Yellow Man is finally warding his science vessel with mines. I feel like Nephilim's really playing passive, and they're just reacting. They're not actually taking initiative. Had I been on Nephilim's team, and had somehow I chosen to go mines, as extensively as this, I would have definitely had dub towers worried. I would have had the outside lanes worried so nothing like that could get by. I would have put additional pressure out there.
So
I think
guess
they're just
they are,
catering to
yeah, they are probably reeling from losing Wildfire right then as well. Probably very disappointed from that. Dirty puts an acid spray out there, but I mean those interceptors are strong, and Luigi's up all the way to 0 on his hotkeys, and he's going out for that prism.
Next time he launches, I will see how much armor and shields that these interceptors have, and then I'll do another quick math for y'all, you know, see how many acid sprays it would take. But it does look like he did go scouts to ward the outsides of the maps. Quite interesting. I don't think Nephilim in particular is going to go, you know, warp trick anytime soon. But if they did, I would definitely make a PSP spam post, since that's what people call it, about ninja warp tricks.
I'm thinking, yeah, just that's him getting some full map vision with those scouts out there. I mean, definitely helpful. And at this point, with all the money that they got,
I can't actually tell you how much each of these interceptors have. It will not allow me to click on them. Yellow Man with 20 armor. He's up to 85 armor right now with the 50. Whoa, it's near 130 right there, man.
Alright, so Luigi 42 still on the interceptors. Artemis up to 24 shields.
You know, now that I'm thinking about your map awareness comment about the scouts, the only thing that they could be warding is, you know, waiting for Yellow Man to go siege and snipe their mothership.
Or they could be waiting for Yellow Man to come up there trying to build mines in Luigi's path, so he'll know that mines are being built right there. But yeah, a couple of scenarios in which those scouts help help Eclipsis know what Yellow Man's out there trying to do. Do you think the best option is that snipe siege for the Nephilim guys at this point?
So, if they had a different Levy player, it's so mean of me to say that their Levy player has been the bane of this 4v4 and 3v3. If they just had a different Levy player, maybe, you know, someone that has experience going even an hour into an IH or a tournament play, it'd be completely different. Unless Wildfire has specifically told them, no, you're not allowed to go corruption, no, you're not allowed to be aggressive, no, I don't want you using your Bile Swarm to attack Luigi, I want you using your tentacles and getting right on top of them, then this is all on the Levy player at this point.
Alright, so Luigi's gonna go ahead and just warp on out of there. Dirty tried to get the jukes on him, but he saw it in time and escaped. So he's back at base. Oh no, he's over here. He just went to the other side of the map. So yeah, cool little do-diddy by Luigi right there.
I just want to point out that Artemis, after 2 hours of playing this game, has finally upgraded from level 8 armor to level 11. I think it's not necessarily because she's afraid of the mines or afraid of Nephilim. I think she's actually more afraid of the creep when she's in siege mode attacking her. Even though it doesn't do anything when she's in siege mode.
So there you go, Artemis with the 11, but mostly focused on those shields. 14,600 shield, and Averlin with that transfer that does 420 makes a very tough combination, especially now that you're down to a 2 versus 3 situation for the Nephilim guys. Very tough after controlling so much of this game to be at the 2 hour and 5 minute mark, and now be looking for a way to win this against. And it looks like, I mean, late game Raven is doing work, putting these PDDs up and taking on this Levy, and they have no way to deny the energy, so the Raven is just over here 700 energy, regenning it and keeping those abilities out there.
Now,
Luigi's being denied the chance to get back towards that other tower.
Now, I don't really think it's necessary. Well, that's probably because we can see the whole map and we know it's not all mined. But I'd really like to see them just attempt to take the mothership with level 45 lasers, blackout, vortex. You should be able to keep the opposing team off your destro long enough that you can just snipe the mothership in 12 shots most. I mean, it's only 50,000 DPS, 50,000 HP from the mothership, but you have level 45 interceptors, you have level 45 siege. That's an incredible amount of DPS.
Well, not only the mothership, but can't these guys just back off a little bit, wait for Luigi to text somebody, and then, I mean, at any point of the map, they're probably gonna murder whoever gets caught in that text anyway?
Well, it's kind of hard because Yellow Man's at 182 speed as Destro, Dirty Applemat's at 19, Luigi is only at 17. So it's, unless someone makes a derp stop, which we've seen plenty of, or Dirty Applemat decides to stack on top of Luigi again, I don't really see it happening. Do you see him taking in Zanudas, level 4? They do 27 damage, but against the farm, which has 175 health and 12 armor, it's useless. I guess they're more or less to counter the PDDs, but even against the PDDs, with, you know, roughly 50 HP, it's not doing a lot. They're not able to get 2 shots on it to deny it, because Averlin's defending it fiercely as it's her own child with, you know, 94 damage lasers, which are one-shotting those fools.
Alright, Luigi's on his way back along the outside, and he's taking a wider path.
What do you think of this? Level 27 Corruptors, just popping 4 of them in front of Averland and just letting her snipe them instead of defending him.
I don't know what he's trying to do. I mean, the PDDs are up, stopping them as well. I guess at this point he's just looking for some way to harass. As right now, what's he doing? He's taking a wide.
Where are all the scouts? I only see 2 scouts, 3
Oh,
scouts on
he's
the
going
map.
for. He's gonna try to
4?
snipe the tower with corruptors, huh? Is that what we see? Yeah.
It'd be interesting. Do you know if Artemis has the radar? Because that would prevent this from happening, and that's, I think, why Katie's able to be there. Artemis must have radar for Katie just to anticipate that. Or it's just her using her sixth sense. Once again, he is
Artemis
not going to...
does not have radar from us.
I really don't know what Dirty Appomat's expecting trying to do this. He really needs to send him further into the mothership.
Oh, wait. Yeah, Artemis does, actually.
I guess I don't get the same view power as you?
No. No, if I switch to Artemis, then I should be able to see that she has radar if she did. I don't see radar activating for guys. What I saw was if I pick, yeah, like say I pick Dirty. Well, I want to pick Dirty then.
This is very, as a Levy player myself, it's very aggravating seeing Dirty Appomat be fed back after fed back, diving onto him with his tentacles while he's being interceptor launches. It looks like this game could be over right here. All Luigi has to do is get a vortex off.
Yeah, he's gonna go down. He's gonna go down here.
Yeah, I mean, he's not even pinging DPS on Luigi at this point.
PDDs are up. There's the feedback.
Third feedback in less than...
He doesn't have energy for text, but they're just going to go ahead and murder him. Oh,
I mean,
man.
I feel like he just gave it to him right there. He didn't want to play anymore. Just sad to see. I would like to see a little bit more initiative, maybe take a tower mothership dive, but instead it's more or less just, I don't like Luigi. Oh, Luigi can kill me. But we do see the GG go down there. The game's over. 2 hours and 11 minutes. It'll be interesting to see if they're going to reschedule this third game for another night. It might be exhaustive, but ECL and Nephilim do have an extensive roster depth. I mean, that was well played by ECL, but I can't help but say that they were nudged along a little bit by Nephilim by being so incredibly passive.
All right, so let's put this into some perspective. Eclipsis takes that second game. If you are Nephilim in that case, what is it that you do different?
Are you talking about game 3 or in that current game?
In that game.
I don't know, as someone that plays Levy and Arbiter so extensively, you have to put 70% of that blame on the Levy for not doing what he needed to do. Maybe the other 30% is leadership telling him not to do this or that, or not being aggressive, but had you just had a Levy player that was naturally aggressive in his own right, but had enough temperament not to dive in against 3 ships, he could have easily sniped 1 tower by splitting, 2 Deshers on one side's vessel, the Levy on the other side. You could have easily survived and been able to take out one of them. I don't know, you might disagree with my assessment there, but I feel like a different Levy player would have made the game completely different.